The Chubi for Soishi. Bow staff is going to raise, the left hand is going to come up to the ear. From here, we're going to step with our left foot as we shoot the left hand out. This is going to be on a slight angle as well. And then we're looking at where the hand's pointing at. From here, the bow staff is going to raise also on an angle to the right as our left arm raises with it. So they raise together. And then if we look at the arms, they're basically a V. So not a T, a V. So on an upward angle to both sides. From here, the right arm's going to move a bit, just so it's lined up with the shoulder. Left arm is going to go underneath. And those two things move together, not one then the other. So together they move. Left hand is underneath the right arm. The bow staff is actually touching the back of her fingers right now. From here, we're going to start the form. This was all just Chu-Mi. She's going to bring her left leg up. She's going to turn. She's going to check as she down blocks to the left side of the room and then lands in a front stance 45. So the left leg was the one that came up. Right leg stayed on the floor. And then the left foot landed in front after that check down block to put her in a left-sided front stance with the 45. From here, she's going to bring her right foot back to get into a horse stance as she does a high helicopter strike. For the helicopter strike, when I say high, that just means like a normal helicopter, eye level, versus low helicopter like you would have in Discovery, which would just be more at the either down at like the opponent's shin or calf level, or even for a check, blocking, using that helicopter as a block. From here, we're at the helicopter strike. From here, we're going to kind of twist off of our right foot as the bow staff comes up to the left side of the neck. From here, the right leg is then going to check as we down block, low helicopter strike, using it as a down block. As we then fold for a 45, landing in a horse stance 45, okay? From here, this is sort of where some new moves kick in. So we're going to do a 45-degree angle strike or stab. So what I want you to imagine is you just hit this person with the 45, boom, and now what's going to happen is you're going to slide this bow staff back, and now you're going to spear, boom, through their face. Awesome. So, just to kind of recap that again, because if you think of like a slide jab that you did back at red belt, what we did was we had our right hand loosen up as our left hand pulled back to then go in for the stab. Basically, you're playing pool at that point. This has got a similar idea, but it's opposite jobs for the hand. So what actually happens here is her back hand loosens up as her right hand is stiff on the bow. She brings the bow back. That's the chamber. And then, boom, she pops up. And you'll notice, too, that she goes from a horse stance position up to a neutral stance. That's just to kind of help give the body a little bit more emphasis on striking with the move. Kind of like when we slide side kick, our body helps add momentum into the technique. After you do the pop-up 45-degree angle stab, we're then going to point the bow as we then drop our right foot back into a front stance. So you'll notice her front stance is going to the right side of the room, but we are still striking towards the mirror here, or the front of the room. So she's doing a low-angled strike. This would be like if she was hitting someone in the back of the leg, boom. And then from here, after she strikes low, she's going to twist as she stabs, boom, pops up. Okay, so we strike. I always think you knock the person off, you swept them off their feet, they fall on the floor. Now their head's laying there. In case we haven't stabbed them enough, we are now stabbing, boom, down to the face and ripping back. In terms of the placement for this, left hand is loose, right hand is tight on the bow. Let's do the stab one more time. So the right hand with the bow is going to go through, basically touching to the left hand. That's your stopping point. You'll notice her body starts to twist a little bit with it, just to kind of add a little bit more, power, but also more reach. And then, boom, she pops back. And you'll notice here, we bring the hand almost to like our chest, just to help really get that bow out of their face. All right. From here, left foot steps up to the right foot, feet together. She's going to do a down block to the left side of the room, which in this case would be her right when you turn around. Down block is a normal down block in terms of hand placements and all that. The difference is normally we do down blocks where we're squared up to the target. This is more of a sideways style of a down block. Her legs are straight. No, I'm sorry, your legs should be bent. Legs are bent right now. We have a down block later in the form where the legs are straight. This is the legs bent one. And then she's going to take her left foot as it drops back into a front stance. High helicopter strike. Normal helicopter, you're just kind of stepping back into it. So right foot's in front, left foot's in back. She's then going to step up with the left foot as she rotates her body towards the right side of the room, and she goes into a half choreo position. Same half choreo that you did back in red belt and brown belt form. The only difference is when we did half choreo in brown belt form, you were squared up to the target. Here, her stomach is towards the back wall, but we're actually aiming ourselves towards, again, the right side of the room. From here, she drops to a back stance, strikes, she twists the back foot as she pushes both hands out, and then rips back. So you don't want one hand to go further than the other like a down block would be. You want the whole thing to stay flat as a wall, no curves or diagonals. Boom, striking back. Almost like I imagine a shield bash. From here, she's going to bring her right hand up to her shoulder, basically folding for a 45. But we've got this left arm a little lower because we're actually going to spear first. So think of a fold for a 45 while in this back stance. She's then going to twist off her back foot as she spears forward. So one more time, because again, this is like the new stuff in terms of our curriculum. Left hand stays exactly where it is. It is the right, very electrifying today, shocking everyone. It is her right hand that is pushing up to the left hand, boom, and then ripping back, boom. And we try to, especially for a lot of these slide jabbing stabs, we try to utilize our body, like our neck or our chest, to help kind of keep that bow from wobbling all over the place. More points of contact allows for better control. From here, now she just rips straight back. Now she's back to the fold of the 45, steps forward into a front stance 45. I'm going to scoot you a little bit away from the wall. And then high helicopter. Again, just to recap, she's got her right leg in front, 45 helicopter, nothing new. And then she's going to drop back to a back stance with her left foot in back and hook. Boom. Okay? From here, she's going to take her left foot, she's going to check it up towards or off the ground as she down strikes and then figure eights into a 45. Something I just want to note, when we do up, down, right, lefts, when we do figure eights, that's the only time that we want our hands super close together. When we do up, down, right, lefts, we want to maintain some distance between our hands. So for figure eights, for those that struggle with figure eights, try making sure that your hands are closer together, and then they'll separate. Generally speaking, your right hand for most moves is right towards that second segment of the bow. It's the left hand that does more moving around than the right hand does. But for a figure eight, you can slide your left hand up to your right hand, allow for a little bit easier flow. This form's got a few spots with figure eights in it, so we just want to make sure we lock those down. After you land into a right-sided front stance after the figure eights, you're going to do up, down, right, left, helicopter, and then you're going to come right back and reverse it. Boom. So just a reverse helicopter. So helicopter normal and just reverse it back. From here, this is a two-step move. So we have a little bit of like a half step with our left foot, our back foot, and then a bigger step back with our right foot. So left foot is going to do a little half shuffle step, boom. I'm sorry, go back. Left foot. So left foot just drops back a little bit. So think about like you're not, clearly if I was on a balance beam right now, it would not work very well for me. My feet are way too far apart. So we kind of think about putting my right foot's on a balance beam. I want to put my left foot on the same balance beam. And then from here, I start my hook. Boom. So again, this is more beginner friendly where we're breaking things down. So we do the hook here. Now when my right foot drops behind my left foot, which you would see from like red belt or brown belt form, boom, I'm striking low. So think about 45, just allowing that arm to drop. Boom. So this way the bow's flat. All right, and then I've got a little bit of bend in my knees. From here, my right leg checks up as we bring the bow around the left side into a 45. So when you do that motion, I always hate this because it messes up my hair. My right forearm is actually going to come up, and it's my forearm that kind of combs my hair back into getting me to that 45 fold position. And then we're going to land into a front stance, a horse stance, 45. From here, similar to what we did in the beginning of the form, we're going to do a high helicopter strike while staying in that horse stance. Now we're going to twist off our right foot as we chamber up to the left side. We're going to check, low helicopter. Now last time we did this, we ended it on horse stance 45. We're not going to do that this time. This is where some people get mixed up on the form. What you're going to do is you're going to bring it up on the right shoulder here. Think about getting it on the patch. Then land into a horse stance, left horizontal strike. So it just cuts, boom, straight across. In a horse stance, and you're cutting across to the left side, and again, just angling wise, she is directly to the left side of the room. From here, she's going to twist, so her feet don't move, her right foot just comes off the ground a little bit with the heel. Her feet don't step anywhere though. Her stomach goes towards the back wall, and she is stabbing and looking to the right side of the room, which for her being in the position she's at is the left side. Cool. From here, right leg is going to check as she does a low helicopter strike again, and I'm just going to hang on to you, just going to talk for a moment. We're using the helicopter here as a block. So anytime you got your leg up in the air and you're striking low, you've got someone swinging something at your leg. You're getting your leg out of the way, and then you're blocking that technique that's coming at your leg. So think of a low block just with a bow. From here, she's going to land, feet together as she rotates. So again, she's aimed at the mirror. And yes, she's in a half chario, but compared to like brown belt and red belt, you did your half chario squared up. This is a half chario sideways, but still looking at the mirror. From here, we're going to drop back into a back stance. We're going to do another twisting strike. And now she's going to rotate her body, spin the body, figure eight, and land into a front stance with her left foot in front, 45. I'm just going to check to make sure we're still on camera well. It looks like we are. Looks good. From here, everything about her is going to stay exactly where it's at. It is just her head and the bow that is going to do an angled helicopter. So some people, when they do this, they think of Discovery where we kind of shift our hips and turn. We're not doing that. Everything stays here. Boom, it's just the arms that go in the head. And then from here, she's going to do another little half step with her left foot to drop it back. And then right foot comes back as we cross hook. Now landing, stepping in front, helicopter strike. Right foot's in front, and then helicopter like normal. From here, we're going to flip the bow up onto the right side. We're going to keep it a little bit more, unshot. I hope this camera's picking all the shots up. We're going to strike boom straight ahead, and then we're going to twist or just turn our body so we're at the left corner of the room. So we were on the right corner, now we're at the left corner, left strike, or right horizontal strike. And now what's going to happen is our right leg is going to check up as we turn the body. Stomach goes towards the parking lot or to the right side of the room. As we check up, land in a front stance, down strike at the same time. So again, you want that timing to be left, right, check, strike. So you're landing and striking at the same time. From here, low helicopter. And you'll notice she did a really good job changing direction with the head. So she was looking at the stab, and then when she went for the helicopter, boom, turned the direction. Sometimes when we do form, we tend to get stuck looking in a direction, and sometimes you're not even doing that move in the direction anymore. So head follows the weapon for the most case. From here, she's going to up strike, and now what's going to happen is we're going to turn towards the mirror, twist our right foot, striking across. From here, right leg, which is in back leg front kick, land in front. As we do a turn, back stance, stab. So left foot's in front, right leg's in back, going directly backwards towards the back wall. From here, we land in the back stab, we're actually gonna spin off our left foot. Right foot comes off the ground as I turn, helicopter strike, again straight ahead. This is a high helicopter strike, so not low or anything. From here, similar to the chambering and twisting we did earlier, we're gonna bring the bow staff. We're gonna twist our body a bit towards the left corner over here as we bring the bow here. So again, this can vary a little bit depending on how fast you are with it. So for people that are as agile with the bow, I say think about going to 2D and then going to a low helicopter right after. So it's high helicopter, rotate, wind up, low helicopter. For those that can be a little bit faster to get a little bit more of a wind up, instead of thinking about going to 2D in the air, go to a down block position. So she does like a down block and then whips it back. And it just gives it another like 90 degrees of rotation, which can just add a little bit more flair to the bow. Again, if it looks choppy, if it looks a little slow, better to go less than doing too much. From here, she's then going to up strike, so it just flips straight up, staying on the right side, doesn't flip to the other side of the body or anything. And now this is where, if I get people confused in the form, it's usually right now with what we're about to do, because you're going to turn, you're going to have some funky footwork, and the bow is flipping around your body a little bit. So we're going to kind of break this up the best way we can. Left foot, we're going to do the footwork part first. The left foot is going to step in front, and I'm going to have a little, not toes forward, we're going to turn our toes sideways a little bit. From here, my right foot steps and I rotate, so I'm basically in a front stance, and then I'm going to twist. So, you know, you think of like twisting side blocks or anything like that, like from Kato-san, very similar. So we just did the footwork part. Now what we're doing is we're going to add the bow with it. So from here, we're at the stab, or okay, the right foot in front, do up strike. From here, we're going to add the bow motion. So step with the left foot, step with the right foot. Now your bow is going to dip over the left side. You're going to twist the feet, wrap the leg, or wrap the bow, wrap the bow. There we go. Would have gotten there eventually. And basically side block. From here, we're going to let loose, spin around, 45 to the mirror. And then this is where we do our second down block, but there is no bending in the knees. So we're going to step up, feet together, down block. You'll notice she kind of bent her knees here, give her a little pop. That's totally fine, but we're not bending our knees like we did earlier in the beginning of the form. This down block is on an angle to the right corner. And then just like Discovery, drop down, boom, helicopter. Boom, just like Discovery. So on an angle and pull back. From here, there's a variety of ways of getting back to Chungi. We kept it a little bit more generic compared to the Minnesota cousins. So we just step back and Chungi,